5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? This is the Worship Leader Podcast. I'm Terry.
This is Josh.
This is Josh.
Yes.
We on the streak. We on the roll. What's up? How's it going? We got an exciting episode for y'all today. But first, just want to kind of catch up a little bit. We since the last one, we went on vacation. Since we filmed the last one, yeah, we went to Disney. And we talked a little bit about it. And a couple of things I took. I'm a thinker. I'm always thinking and stuff. So a couple of mental notes I took. One, I kind of see why people in other countries are like Americans. You know, the whole Americans thing.
Yep. It's real.
Just being in a tourist place and seeing seeing us, because I'm in it too. I'm in it too. But seeing us collectively, like, whew,
just like, man,
I'm like this America, yeah.
Yep.
But I love
this
it.
Is us.
This is us.
This is us.
This is us.
This is us.
Also, this is us. Yeah. But it was cool. Like one of the reasons why I say that, one thing, like we went to SeaWorld one of the days, and we got you can pay like $20 or $30 extra per person, and you can eat. It's like every hour you can get a meal, get something to drink or whatever. And so we did that, and it ended up we only ate like twice, but we got drinks a bunch, and we never had to pay for them. You just go and fill up. So it was definitely worth it. But saying that, like, I saw the amount of food that was like wasted. And I'm usually, I don't like waste, but man, it's like it's not sustainable what we're doing. Like, to be able to like have that much, it was a ton of ribs and a ton of like chicken, and I'm like,
ton of food.
Like, it's just not sustainable. I don't know. So vegans, y'all got 1 point with me. Non-vegans, it's still like 160 to 1, but
He said he got one.
but y'all got that one. Y'all got that one. We definitely like it. It was so wasteful, and it was almost like, I don't know. I don't know. It discouraged me from meat for that one little. I was like, man, this is it's so wasteful, but.
For a small space of time.
Very small
This
space
big.
of time. Yeah, very small. And I mean, we went to Epcot. We didn't get to go to Magic Kingdom this time. It's just, I didn't realize it, but when you buy your tickets, you had to make reservations for the park when you bought your ticket, because they only did restrictions. They had so many people in the park at a time, and so by the time we even went like 2 weeks early to reserve, and it was like Magic Kingdom was booked. Everything was booked besides Epcot, and neither one of us had ever been to Epcot, so we went. It ended up being fun. It was good. We enjoyed it. It was masked up and everything. But the day we went to SeaWorld, they updated the CDC requirements or recommendations. And so Florida, they changed it that day. And so when we went to SeaWorld, it was, if you're vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. But they weren't checking for vaccinations. They just,
Everybody was up.
If you don't wear a mask, you just it's just good faith. And the people had, it was normal. It was just like a normal day at SeaWorld.
But it was said fun. All you had to say was no mask. Oh, there it is.
But it was a good day, a good trip. We enjoyed it a lot. Oh yeah, those timeshares. We went and stayed at a timeshare, and we do the previews, because if you do the previews, they give you a discounted rate. They held us hostage for like 3 hours on Sunday.
It's almost a kidnapping situation.
Yeah, we wanted to go to church on Sunday to a night service, but
literally
we were there 3 hours. Like, so by the time we traffic and getting to the church, by the time we weren't able to do it.
Basically like
so.
they might as well just lock the doors the way they do. We got
him, y'all. Oh yeah, but something we found out, that I didn't know about these timeshares. Oh, we call the guy, our representative. He was like, oh, they're not even gonna want you to. They're not interested in you buying.
They
like
lying.
they're not interested in you buying. They gave you this really low price, and the people that promise you that price, they're fired. Because they're not supposed to promise you such a low price. And so we get there to the tour. They bring out the papers. We sign them. Okay, he took us. He was like, I'm going to take you on a little tour, because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want you to sign. Don't sign. So this is our second time going, and we've seen the same guy 2 times. So I guess he tried a different tactic. But he was like, don't sign. And so he took us to the villa, and it was like HGTV. They came in, they renovated all of these, and they did a show about it or whatever. And so we walk in. It's very nice. Everything's very it's HGTV, so it's really nice, really
It's
modern.
gotta be nice.
These go for this price tag and all that. And so they get us back, and they're like, okay, we're gonna bring over the lady, get you to sign the papers. So you just sign those papers, and you're free to go. So we signed the papers, no questions asked, and we push it to him. He was like, you might want to ask her, just to show you. So she goes back, and she shows us our price, and it's X price to buy out this timeshare. And so we go back and forth, and they are convincing. Sometimes they'll have me like, well, maybe we want to, and sometimes they'll have Trisha like, oh, that does sound nice. But we fought through it for 3 hours, and then so at the end, the lady was like, they drop the price every time we go. They drop the price more and more. We had them down to like 0 interest. They usually charge like ridiculous, like 20% interest or something like that, something crazy. We had them down to 0 interest. Pay this much, and then if you pay this much in a year's time, then you'll get it with 0 interest, the timeshare. And so we were still like, no, we're gonna go. And so the lady that wraps it up, she came in, and she was like, oh, we're gonna get you to sign this. Would you like to buy another trip? And so we buy another trip at a discounted rate there. So we will and deal with her. She drops the price. Like, none of these prices are set in stone. Like, they're dropping.
Haggling.
The lady's like, I don't know how much power I have. She was like, well, what if I just erased all the interest? We were like, what? You can do that? Like we were just talking. Like, that's.
You're sitting there. Where were you like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah. It's crazy. And so the other lady that we wheeled and deal with her, and we got our price down for another trip to come in 3 years. She's like, we'll give you 3 years to do it. So we went ahead and paid half. Now we'll pay half for the trip some other time, just whenever, I don't know. And so we were talking to her, and by this time it was her and her husband. They were the last people. They had locked everything up. She was ready to go. So she just started telling the truth. We told her, we was like, oh yeah, they told us it was a really good price. We're getting it for, he said he hadn't seen this. He's been working 12 years and he'd never seen this before, a price this low. And she was like, what was the price? It was like, oh, it was X. She was like, oh yeah, that's normal. She was like, you can get them for cheaper than that. All you have to do is ask for one that somebody foreclosed on, and you can take over the balance, or
deception,
or somebody just pays, or somebody pays to upgrade, and you just pay their balance. So we almost have them down to 4 figures for the timeshare bought outright. So if we can get them down, we have a price. If we can get them down to that, we're just gonna pay it outright. Like, we're just gonna give them the money and pay it outright and just be done with it. Then it would be worth it, because every year you have a property tax, and you have HOAs. So if we can get them down to a certain price, we'll go ahead and buy it, and because it's nice. There's some really good amenities, but they are robbing a lot of people blind. A lot of people blind. So yeah, all of that to say, it was a good trip. A little bit
It's
long.
a trap.
It's a trap. Don't run. If you see these drinks in front of us, what we're gonna do is, people say, Coke and Pepsi, they've had a rivalry forever. Well, Pepsi, it was kind of like, Pepsi had one little row. Like, they had like three Pepsi products. It was Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi, and Diet Pepsi, and
They're
it was like
better
three
than
little
that.
rows. And Coke had the like three.
Pepsi's better than
They
that.
had Coke,
They're better.
Coke had like 3 coolers full. Anyway, what we have in front of us is 1 through 4. One of these is Coke. One of these is Coke Zero. One of these is Pepsi. And one of these is Diet Pepsi. We do not know which one is which. My wife poured it for us. I have the answer key right here. What's 1 through 4. So we're going to drink these blindly. We're going to try to guess.
We have not seen the answer.
We have not seen the answers. We don't know. So this is new to us. So
trying to prepare myself.
let's
the
try.
diet has that distinct
that diet taste. Yeah, I think we'll be able to taste diet from regular. And I think we'll be able to taste Coke from Pepsi too. The two diets may be a little.
I know
be a little tricky.
that's gonna be the one.
Yeah.
because when with diet drinks is literally like you drink and you're just like substituted sugar.
Yeah, that's all you taste. That's all you taste with a hint of whatever
it is for taste.
Yeah, for taste.
Oh gosh.
Let's try number 1 and see
I'm nervous.
where we're at. Okay, 1.
There it is.
This is number 1. Okay, I think I know what this is. I know what this is.
Ooh, yep. There goes the aftertaste.
I know exactly what this is. That's nothing but that substitute sugar.
That's super substitute.
Yeah, that's a diet.
And it has that lingering.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna leave you kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's that. I'm thinking that's a Diet Pepsi. Number 1. I'm thinking number 1's a Diet Pepsi.
Hold on, let me see.
Let me see again. You got me second. Yeah,
Ooh, I think you're right.
I'm calling that Diet Pepsi.
Cause Pepsi's got that weird like.
Yeah, Pepsi's already whatever, and then you add diet on top of it. Are you a Pepsi person or Coke?
I can be.
You can
I
be.
think I used to be more of a Pepsi person than I am now.
Yeah,
And now I'm just kind of like.
I don't even remember what Pepsi tastes like. Like I haven't had it in so long.
Because most people don't have Pepsi
Yeah,
products.
most people don't have Pepsi products. Yeah, I think it's like Taco Bell.
Nowadays, you go somewhere and they're just like, "Oh, we have Pepsi products." Pepsi products.
Like what are those? Like Dr. Pibb? What is it?
Like-
I don't even Pibb X.
Literally.
I don't know. Is that Pepsi?
So
like,
can I see a menu?
Yeah, I don't know what this. What the Pepsi? What?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Number 2. Let's see. Wait. What? Hold on.
That's confusing. Whoa, that's weird. That is weird.
Okay.
If that's what I think it is, they changed their taste, and I didn't realize it.
Now I'm confused.
Right.
Pepsi number 2. Pepsi number 2.
Yeah, because this got real sugar.
Yeah.
I can taste it.
Yeah, that's not Coke.
I hope I'm not wrong.
That's not
'cause
Coke.
I'm gonna feel really bad.
That's real sugar, but I don't think that's Coke.
I don't get that battery acid feeling in my throat.
That lingering. All right, number 3.
Here we go.
Wait.
Syrupy.
Wait.
This is hard.
Oh my goodness.
This is really hard. You wouldn't think this would be this difficult,
Yeah, but
it's just like
They all taste like Pepsi.
maybe I just don't know soda like I thought I did.
I don't know. Oh man, I don't know what this is.
That is interesting. Maybe this is Coke Zero.
Yeah, I'm not getting a strong. This one, the artificial is not as strong, but
It's not.
I don't see what else it could be. Like,
When I first drank it, I was immediately just like, "Oh, this is some kind of Coke," but it's like a confusing Coke.
yeah, I think that's zero, like you said.
It's something.
I think that's zero. So as it stands, I have mine as we're locked in on these, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think we're the same. I have. This is my Pepsi Zero. I mean, or Diet Pepsi.
Either one.
I have. This is my Pepsi.
Pepsi. So Diet
This
Pepsi.
is my
Pepsi.
Coke's Diet.
Yes.
And this one's Coke.
Maybe
So let's see.
we gonna see. That is so confusing.
That's so weird.
Oh my god.
That's Coke though. That's Coke. Yeah.
There it is.
That's Coca-Cola.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Battery acid. There it is. There it goes.
That's Coke. And then they sat here for a while, so they might have gotten a little flat. But
my gosh.
yeah, that's the stuff. So let's see what we got.
Mm-hmm. It's got the taste of
What?
We was dead wrong, weren't we?
Wow. Yeah, we were wrong. Number one, we got right. Diet Pepsi.
Oh, okay.
Number two, Coke.
That's concerning.
Number three, we got right. Coke Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Number four, Pepsi.
Mm.
What?
Man.
I thought.
I do not know this like I thought I did.
I don't.
Because this does not taste like Coke.
It does not taste like Coke. This tastes more like Coke to me.
Right?
That's so weird.
I don't see it. I don't. I keep drinking it and it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not happening for me.
It's not happening for me.
It's not happening.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was. I guess I thought I was gonna nail for sure Pepsi and Coke, but no. Not
I guess
even.
it's a good thing because it's just like that healthy thing of just like you're so healthy you don't even know the sodas you're drinking. I'm really trying to turn this around.
You talking about health wise? I am. I'm trying
really
to turn it around too.
Because this is sad.
Oh yeah. I've reached an age to where now every ounce is a fight. Like I used to be able to I could skip 2 meals and I'd be like down to my normal weight. But now I have to fight for every ounce. Like I'm hungry at night, get up 0.2 pounds. I lost 0.2 pounds. I'm like, this is not worth it. Like I'm torturing myself over.
And it doesn't make sense because it's just like random snacking out of nowhere. I don't know when this started for me, but it's just like I'm just like randomly eating crackers now. I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh man. One thing me and my wife we've just discovered this since we've kind of been today I took that diet and threw it out the window. But I'm back tomorrow. But like one thing we found is like grits, like the pack of instant grits, it's like 100 calories a pack. Mm-hmm. So I'll get 2 packs of those, a little butter, a little salt. A little over 200 calories, and grits they stick. They're like they're heavy and they stick to you and they fill you up. So that's what we've been doing for snack. That's probably what I'm going to eat tonight is just grits. Grits and water.
Such a healthy choice. Such a healthy choice.
So I don't have a transition, so we're just going to transition it like this. I was going to try to do a smooth transition on this, and I was thinking. And
I was trying to see how he was going to spin it, y'all.
It's just going nowhere. So what we're going to talk about is because we're both fathers, and we've had conversations about trying to find the balance between the old school parenting and the new school parenting, because I think that the extremes are really kind of like unhealthy. And so it's finding that balance between old school and new school parenting. I guess we need to define, old school and new school parenting. Like, old school. I would think old school parenting would be like
Fear of God.
fear of God.
Fear of God.
You don't have a choice. I am the choice.
I will take you out, kind of stuff.
You
and
get
dare
this?
somebody to call me on it.
You get this and you take it, and whatever you're given, you take it. No say so on decisions made about you.
The kind of
That
stuff
kinda
that'll
thing.
leave you going home, going to bed without dinner
Yeah.
for like a week, kind of stuff.
Because I said so. No kind of whatever. Like old school parenting is really like tough love, and the new school parenting is that is more like everybody gets a trophy kind of
A little bit.
ish.
It's almost
know.
like the whole you talk it out a lot more.
Yeah,
it's a lot more of the
Yeah.
reasoning with
Yeah,
the
you-
new
you-
school that
yeah.
you didn't get in the old school. They was just like, I'll just
How
shake
do
them.
you feel about this? Feel what? Old school parenting.
I
Feel.
wish.
It don't matter how you
Wish.
feel.
I wish.
How
I
do you
wish.
feel?
I
How
wish.
does this make you feel?
Man, that would have been an man. My life would be different.
How does this shoe make you feel?
It's
so,
real, y'all. It's real.
I guess like just old school. And another thing, old school parenting is a lot less like mental health, because mental health.
Yes.
Although it's kind of a buzzword, but
that's like a recent, like within the
Yeah.
last like 2 years kind
yeah,
of buzzword.
mental health is like a buzzword, but it is really important.
Yeah.
But there was no
People
talk
just-
or concern or I
feel
guess
People
no,
just didn't make place for it really
Yeah.
for like years.
yeah, like mental health. Children don't have mental health. It was kind of like that. Like
Yeah.
nobody even thought about children and mental health. So I can remember like just, and I'll start off with saying like I had great parents. Like my parents were great great parents, and most parents from the millennial generation, most parents were. It wasn't like super old school, but it was like you were one generation removed from like really old school parenting.
The kind of you got whipped at school and then you got whipped at home kind of stuff.
yeah. That like you were one generation removed from the super old school parenting.
That's
And so
close.
you got a little leniency. That's how it was with me. And like I can remember like just being super young and like having like I'd be at like an aunt's house with like a great aunt's house and a bunch of people over, and like all the kids are my age. That age I don't remember what age I was, but I was way too young to be involved in like they had like they were watching TV and it was Night of the Living Dead. Like I was scarred from that for a long time because I was way too young to be.
Gosh.
And see that kind of with the older school parenting, I think that kind of stuff was a little more lenient. Like people didn't think about the effects things would have on you. Like I remember going home that night and my parents said, go get something out of my room, and all the lights were off. We had a long hallway. And the hallway just stretched
just
out.
like, I'm not gonna make it.
I'm not gonna. And I walk back there, and like halfway down the hall, like I just turn around and start screaming, and and I was afraid. I had an unhealthy fear of zombies for a very long time. Like, probably.
That'll do
I was
it.
well into my 20s. Like
That'll do it.
Like I was well into my 20s. Like well into my 20s.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like we all have like that one
Yeah.
like movie that is just like you probably shouldn't have saw it.
Yeah.
But you saw it
But
anyway.
you saw it anyway.
And it just something just got stuck in your head and you're just like, wow, there it is. The
Yeah.
trauma.
Yeah, and like that was the one for me, like Night of the Living Dead. That was I can remember it like it was yesterday, and I still like I can't look at that like the original one, and like I don't know why I have a glutton for whatever, like I don't do it now, but I used to I just go back and like watch scenes from it or whatever, from all kinds of stuff. And anytime, and it's like super like the makeup's like it's like makeup we do, and the
Uh-huh.
person's like, you can obviously tell like this is a person with makeup on. Like it nothing scary looking about. Like they have like clothes from Goodwill that they tore, and a little bit of like eyeshadow under their
Just
eye, and they're like,
enough.
and it still was like really scary to me after I watched it as an adult. Speaking of, this is like I'm going off the rails, but I don't know why I did this, but this has been in the last couple of months. I sat and I did a try not to cry challenge on YouTube. I made it like 30 seconds. Like 'cause they have all this, they have the music, and then they have like the touching stories, like it, like they have like people like that are putting themselves in danger or putting themselves in harm's way or
I can't take that.
sacrificing their life
I can't do that.
for a child, and they have like the sad music.
I can't do it.
I cried
can't
and had a
make it.
sinus headache. Like, why? I was like, why did I? That was so stupid. I was like, that was so stupid. Why would you do this challenge? Making yourself sad, get a sinus headache. Now you're hurting. Gotta go take some Tylenol because you want to watch a try not to cry challenge.
Oh my god!
And then I like stuck with it. I didn't like cry and then just like turn it off.
I
Like,
can't take this anymore.
like I can do it. I can stop. And every scene, I'm like, no. So don't do it. Just don't
I'm too
do it.
emotional for that. I can't. I know I can't do it. I think
Oh, yeah, 'cause
if I get the wrong movie, I'm just like, because like sometimes me and Waikisha will be like watching something, and she'll just kind of look. She'll look in the corner of her eye, and she won't say it, but like I can feel the question. Are you crying? Like you can feel it.
Do you ever try to like cover it up? Where you
Yes, you're just like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Oh my goodness! You try to do something real quick where
He's
they
just
don't know
like-
you're. That's so funny. I do that. I'll try to wipe it where she doesn't know I'm crying.
And it'll be like those movies where it's just like the family movies where like the mom is like real sick or something like
Yeah,
that, and then
oh,
like she
yeah.
like ups and dies, and you're just like,
And you can feel it for me, so I like hold my eyes open.
you're
and
just
tilt
like,
my
I
head
can't
back.
take this, I can't do this, and then they go to the funeral, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
And then you're like a blue person, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, like those movies, it's like
They
I'll
grip you.
Well,
Get a hold of you.
since we're family and it's just us, you know, I'll make a look like I watch all the Marvel movies and stuff. So Infinity War, the one where they did the snap.
Spoiler alert!
Oh,
if you
yeah,
have
if
not
you
seen
haven't-
this movie, get off of it now.
Get off of it now. Yeah, good catch. So when he snaps his finger and people start fading, and like Spider-Man was like, Cap, don't let him do it, or something, whatever he said, and then like Black Panther went out, and all these people are like, hey, I may have not cried a little.
I'm not gonna lie. It's stuff like that where you just can't take it because like you're emotionally attached to the people already.
Yeah,
and you're
'cause
just like that lone tear starts coming down your cheek.
Like, yeah, I didn't like boo-hoo, but it was like one of those quick ones where you don't. I try to hide it from Trisha. I'm like, nope, can't. Start doing man stuff.
Looking over, why are you screaming?
Yeah, but
It's
yeah,
hard
that's
out
great.
here, yo.
That's great. Like, but yeah, that with the new school parenting though, it's like people are more concerned
I
about
forgot
that.
we were talking about
Oh
that.
yeah,
I got stuck on the movie.
So on the movies, that, like new school parent, what is he talking about?
Oh my gosh.
But with like new school parenting, it's like it's like that's more of a concern. Like this millennial generation, we think about the repercussions of mental health things a little more than the old school parenting. But one of the bad things about the new school parenting, you can raise some brats if you don't watch it. Some entitled brats if you don't watch it. And we had to watch it with Viv. We're having to scale back a little bit because we give her too many decisions, asking her, well, just choices on like, would you like this one or would you like that one? And now she's getting to the point to where she's kind of starting to demand things.
What
We're like, wait, hold up, nope,
Yeah.
nope, that's not how this works. So
I feel like now
grab
you're
the
making
scale
me have
back,
to do
and now
this.
we're like, look, you're getting this. This is what you're wearing today. We let her pick out stuff, you know. But if she throws a fit, it's absolutely no. This is.
We're like, well,
And
we
we'll hand her a cup, and if she's like, I don't want this cup, I want another one. No, you're getting this one. Like
this is life now.
Yeah, this is your new life. This is life. So I think on both sides, it's kind of like just finding that balance between like, because with the old school parenting, if you don't watch it, you'll raise kids with like super low self-esteem. You know, can't look anybody in the eye, and just like all kind of issues, just because they were always told what to do, when to do it, no kind of decision. This is because I said so, and blah blah blah, and it's, excuse me, it's easy to raise a kid that's like super low self-esteem and that thing. But on the flip side, nobody likes a brat either. Like
They don't.
It's
they will not watch your kids.
Yeah,
they will not watch
like
your kids.
Like the low self-esteem thing, it will like hold you back in life. And the other one, like, you can be a go-getter, but nobody likes you, and that'll eventually hold you back in life. Because if nobody can work with you or don't like you, then you're not gonna make it very far.
You're
know?
not.
So it's just finding that balance between the old and the new. I know Gigi's like, she should be what, about 9 months now?
Like she's like 10 and she's scratching.
Okay.
She's trying to be a teenager. I don't know what happened. It's like she skipped over child. She's trying to be a teenager. I don't know when that happened.
So how have y'all kind of been finding that balance?
That is actually, it's really interesting you asked that, because at first, I mean, you know, first child, so everybody who has kids basically knows what I'm about to be talking about. With first child, it's really easy to just be like, you're just used to doing everything, and they get everything, and just, you know, whatever. But now she's starting to like get to that age where like she's recognizing that she's the only child and that she's the first one. It's just like, oh no, what have we done?
Like,
so,
this is mine. Like,
yes,
mine.
like literally,
Yeah.
like we'll come take it out of other people's hands. Like, so just be like, you didn't need that. Thank you.
Thank you. It's mine now.
And so it's like now we're having to like teach her that being told no is okay, and you don't always have to get things right at this moment, and you'll be fine. You don't have to be held all the time, which is hard.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's tough.
especially when she gets to the and you're just like,
that
oh,
head
no.
back.
Yeah.
When that head goes
When
back.
the head goes back, you already know. Yeah.
It's like in their DNA. Like,
Yeah.
kids, they throw that head.
Might as well
back.
pack everything up and just go home.
Like,
Just go home.
I remember sitting in a restaurant. This was before we had children. Like, it's so crazy how crazy you are when you don't have children. You're crazy and you think crazy things. Like, I remember being in the restaurant, and we were with a bunch of couples. Well, it was a few couples, and for some reason, it was just one of those days with the child, and the child was just wouldn't settle, was screaming, crying, and I remember thinking, man, they cannot control their child. What is wrong? What is wrong with these parents? They can't control their child. Like, they ended up having to get up and leave. I remember having those thoughts. Now that I have a child,
It's understandable.
like, no, that's not, like, what was I thinking? Like, I don't, like, it's great. Like, kids have a mind of their own, and
literally,
just because you threaten to whip them, it's not gonna stop them. They are strong-willed.
You can get in trouble. Yo, when we get home, you're not gonna get to play with this. They don't care about nothing.
They don't care.
They have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And you say, oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna take you in that bathroom. And well, you take them in the bathroom, whip them. They're gonna cry even louder. And then now it's like, and just mentioning, saying, it's not gonna like.
It's almost like there's like this little part of them that's almost just like, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. And Vivian, I think she's like, one of her things is like, I think one of her languages is like affirmation, like words of affirmation, because when we, like, I can talk to her and just raise my voice and she'll just, I'm like, Vivian, stop, just calm down. Drama. Oh my goodness, get ready, it's coming. Like,
y'all just pray. Y'all just pray.
Drama. It's like the little girls of drama. The little girls, in my experience, and all the people that I've talked to, like, I ask, are there girls like this? They're like, oh yeah, total drama. And so it's like, I remember thinking that you should be able to tell your child to do something. They should do it like a robot. Just go do this, and they just get up and do it. Like, it's like you're dealing with a human the same way you get feelings. Like, if I was to tell you to get up and go do this, the way you get those feelings, they get them too. And they, like, their brains, they can't, like, we can keep it under control and kind of hold it in a little bit. They can't. They don't know anything about it.
Hence the head jerk and the falling out.
I'm like, oh, just stop. Just stop.
Entire meltdown from the head to their toes. Just.
So finding that balance is it's a line that always has to be towed and always constantly has to be visited and revisited and adjusted.
And also, I think it's like different according to like the type of child.
Yeah, it's different for each child. Yeah,
because some children, like you said, like with Viv, where it's just like literally you could just be like, I'm disappointed. Literally, that's all you got to say. Yeah. And some kids, you tell them that and they're just like, what that mean to me?
You got a belt somewhere?
I know. They're like, okay,
you don't have a belt. I'm not listening.
You'd be like, sorry. So it's just kind of like I don't.
Yeah, it's finding that line. Oh yeah, and another thing, like with different, like y'all are child number one. I was thinking this today actually, like with Vivian, child number one, words that we frequently thought of was sleep schedule, potty training, diet. Like we haven't uttered those words with Louis. We realize when they're ready, it'll happen. Like we don't push. We hadn't pushed potty training with Lou. We hadn't pushed sleep schedule with him. Like, I realized after doing all that, and Vivian, I guess I thought like if we don't get her potty trained by 2.5, she won't know how to use the potty for the rest of her life. Like she's just gonna be wearing a diaper. She's gonna be a 13-year-old wearing a diaper. Like they'll get it. Like they'll eventually get like it's. They'll get it. Like they will. They will. So with Lou, we haven't, and on his own, he'll sometimes tell us, I want to get on the potty, or if we see that there's nothing in his diaper, when he wakes up in the morning, we'll sit him on the potty and he'll do his business, and we praise and, hey, good job, and all of that, and he's just coming along at his own speed. We've never even tried a schedule or with sleep schedule. What's that? Like he just goes to sleep, sleeps, and wakes up. So that those things that I noticed from kid 1 to kid 2, it's like we're way lenient on Louis. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And so I think that might be it for that. We'll just move on to the next segment. My transition game today is like, I don't know. So, well, it's never whatever, but so one of the things I wanted to talk about was secular music.
Hot topic.
Or no. And me, I've kind of been on, well, I've never been on this. Well, my belief on it has never been you can listen to anything, but I've been times in my life when I was younger where I would listen to anything, that's not always my belief. And I've been on the side where it's like, Christian music and Christian music only, I've been on the, I went through a season to where I was that was my deal. That was my view. And I'm kind of like, I try to find the balance. I'm the type of person that I try find the balance between the two. And so now I have a more of a balanced view than the all the way to one side. I've never been all the way to that side. Like I said, there's been times in my life where I would, like, I know coming up in high school, I like in like my junior year in high school, like one of my very best friends was like a Satanist. Like well, I don't know how true of a Satanist you can be in high school. So he was like Satanist leaning.
He was
like,
in that direction.
Like the group of people that he used to hang out with, and my school was very small, so you knew everybody. And one of his friends like brought like a Wiccan Bible to school one day, and he'd like read his Wiccan Bible and stuff like that. And so and the guy that I was good friends with, which actually ended up being a really good relationship, because he actually ended up coming to church with me and actually considered getting baptized. He never whatever, but he never committed, but he considered it. And that goes to show you, I know the whole unequally yoked thing, but that I think that's more towards your really, really people that you're allowing to influence you and all of that stuff. I think we should reach out to everybody. I mean, he's somebody that a Christian person would probably never venture out to try to win. Like he's the kind of person that would have to be scrolling through YouTube one day and see something about God and like that be the thing, instead of somebody reaching out to him, because he was that kind of person. I went to his house one day. We'll get back on the music. I went to his house one day. Legit, like we went to like an overpass. You know how under the overpass they have like the little ramps or whatever. Under it freaked me out. Like under the overpass there was like a pentagram. They had like some candles sitting there, and they had like a like the little cow skull head thing. They had like the skull sitting at the cow skull head.
You better than me. I would have left.
I did. That's when I was like, okay, no, I'm gone.
Drawing the line here.
So that's but that's how far off into it he was. But anyway, like I was able, through our relationship together, I was able to bring him to church and expose him to the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit moved that at that service. He walked out. Like he walked out and went sat outside, like outside of the church, and just went sat down. And I went and talked to him, and I was like, man, what's going on, blah blah blah. And in so many words, he was like, I think I have something in me that's allowing me not to be in here, or whatever. I eventually talked to him, and he came back in. I mean, we prayed together. We prayed together. He considered being baptized, but he never did. But he got that exposure, and now that's something that's a memory and an experience he can draw back on for the rest of his life. I haven't seen him since high school, so I hadn't seen him in a very long time. But yeah, that was a little rabbit trail. But anyway, I know what that was about. That was saying, like, during that time, like, there was music that he would show me that was like, people would be way out there. I'd be like, okay, all right. Yeah. Some of it was okay music, like the music, but I never got with any of that. It was a cool experience. But anyway, to say that not the under the thing. I mean, the friendship and what it allowed was cool. Not that story I told. That wasn't a cool experience.
That particular incident,
no. But yeah, so I've been on both sides. And this is probably gonna be a long podcast. I got
y'all get ready.
just jump in whenever you want. I'm just rambling.
This is so interesting.
There was a point in my life where, talking about music, and I guess we'll get to our stand. Do you want to go tell your stance, or you want me to go into the story, or what?
Honestly, I'm really ready to hear this.
Okay.
This is some good stuff.
So there was a point in my life where I was like super, and this is okay. Well, I'll get into this. The meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to say is, I think that what we listen to, uh, you know how God says what goes into a man defileth him. I think if we I mean, he said not it's not, he was talking about food. It's not what goes into a man that defiles him. They were talking about the law of eating kosher food and all that. But I like to broaden that out to more than just food. But I think it's the content of your heart. But if you let that music be in the driver's seat, it'll begin to change the desire of your heart, and that's the dangerous part. It's not that the music itself is sinful in my eyes. It's just that if you don't watch it, it'll draw you to being sinful. And here's a quick story. Like, there was this point in time where I went, like, I was like a super like neo soul kind of person, which I like neo soul music. I love the chords. I love the music. But there's like a following. You know, neo soul people. They're unique.
Yeah.
They're unique. If you're a neo soul person, y'all are unique. You know, just like we're unique. Whatever. So I was real heavy into that for a while and listening to all kind of neo soul people, and you know, after a while, you know, my thought process would begin to change a little bit. Like I was like, I never got close to to being led astray, but like I'd be like, so I'd get all of these, you know how in neo soul circles it's kind of like back to Africa and all that stuff, and natural and all that, which is good. I love that. For face value, I love that. But a lot of that draws back into the gods that the Egyptians would worship and all that. And that's where I draw the problem with it. Like, as far as like the cultural context and all that, I love it. But when you go to talking about, and not everybody neo soul does this, but the deep neo soul community, a lot of that is like back to the original. So it pulls toward a lot of the gods of Egypt and all of that stuff. And one of the people I listened to in particular that was neo soul, and that was kind of R&B neo soulish, like they had an album named Voodoo. And I'm pretty sure you can Google it, you'll know who it is. I'm just not gonna say it. They had an album named Voodoo. Slamming album. Like, I like, there's some really good songs on this album. When you talk about neo soul and R&B and stuff, well, you know how they used to have CDs and booklets and stuff. You open up the books. Well, in the booklet in the CD, it had him where he went to Africa and he did like a ceremony, like a voodoo ceremony. It had him like chickens, like, you know, killing the chickens and stuff. They had it in the and this was something that like the neo soul that was in the neo soul community that we were listening to and stuff. And now looking back on that, you know, there were beginnings of thoughts of like the whole, what I was talking about back to, you know, the pull of the first half of, you know, a pull of the first half of it, you know, and who knows if I would have continued down that road, I may have been okay, you know. Probability, I may have been okay, but also probability, I could be a completely different person right now. I could be in a really weird space. I could be very compromised in my Christianity. I could be a Christian, but I could be more like a universal kind of, it's all good kind of, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to get too whatever. I'm trying not to get canceled before we get 12 viewers. I'm trying not to get canceled. So I'm trying not to get canceled. But nah, in all seriousness, but it's kind of like, who knows? I could have been that universal. It's all good. We're Christians, but there's a
Got
bunch
my
of
hand
ways.
in everybody basket kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a whole bunch of ways. I just choose Christianity, and that's my way. You know, that I could very easily see myself in something like that, saying I choose Jesus, but maybe you know you choose whoever else, and they'll route us the same way. Like, and like I said, I don't think listening to secular music itself is sinful. I don't think it, like, I still listen to I get times where I want to hear me some Stevie Wonder. So I'll play some Stevie. I love older secular music. I love like Stevie Wonder. I love Michael Jackson. I like some new stuff too, but I don't get with it as much just because I'm a musical person. And I like chords and I like all that kind of stuff. And so the newer music doesn't do it as much for me. It's
not like the old school.
Yeah, not like the old school. So I still, I still listen to stuff occasionally. My personal view on it now is like you have to be careful in watching where you set your fence. Like don't set it too close. It's like Ray Charles. He's good. Like there's a tons of good like people that don't necessarily sing Christian music that I find their music very good and I listen to it. And I've been on the side of only Christian music too, and there's a lot of good points, and there's a lot of like it's never gonna hurt to only listen to Christian music like that. That's never gonna hurt. That's always
only gonna help.
It's only gonna help, and it's only gonna be beneficial. I have nothing bad to say about that. Like if somebody wants to listen to only Christian music, that is great. Like like I have no negatives. There is no negatives about that. Like there's none. Like so I have been on that, but every once in a while I want to cruise and I want to listen to like I have a very like broad range of music. Like I listen to stuff you might not think a black millennial male would listen to. Like I have like playlists and albums that have like Simon and Garfunkel. Do you even know who that is?
I don't.
Like
really
that,
don't.
yeah. Like I'll listen to Simon and Garfunkel, and then it'll be like it may be like a song like Kirk Franklin just made a song with DaBaby, which is he's a rapper, and like so that's like really young and really up and coming, and so I'm all over the place. It can be anything, and so I'm all and sometimes Christian music doesn't always scratch that musical itch for me. But I make sure that everything I do listen to is wholesome, not tearing down people and all the cursing and stuff like that. Like I don't do that. I don't listen to that. So, and I don't even know a lot of the new people to even know what's out there to even reference
I'm lost on it now too.
To even reference it, so I can't name any new people because I don't listen to a whole lot of new stuff that's not Christian.
I could maybe name like one or two.
Like I can name like DaBaby. I mean, I listen to like some pop culture podcasts, so I know names from that. But ask me one song they sing, like DaBaby. I couldn't tell you one of his songs.
Didn't even
except
know
for
that
the
was
one
a person till just now.
Except for the one he does with Kirk Franklin.
I can look. I know that one.
I know
now.
that one. I don't even know the name. I listened to it once. I was like, you know what? This is okay. All right. And so and I mean Drake's not really new anymore. He's been doing.
I just realized. Oh my gosh, Drake is old now.
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah. Like
That's
not that
crazy.
I listen to Drake.
That's
I
crazy to say though.
Yeah.
Now. Cause he was like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm about to get off on a tangent, but
yeah, that used to be like I don't know any
Man.
new up and coming people. I guess.
Man,
I guess that's not a bad thing. But so what are your what do you feel like? And if it's hard right or hard left, I mean I don't.
I'll say basically I feel like everybody, if you're really honest with yourself, you know yourself and you know not just your boundaries but where your boundaries should be. And I only say that because like I know like for me, I do I basically just do Christian. If I listen to like a secular song, it's probably because like I'm in somebody else's car, or like I'm at the store or something like that. But that's because I know how my mind is, and I'll know like I know how I am. And if I listen to one and like I really like it, it'll literally be like a tape recorder in my head.
Oh,
I just
okay.
said tape recorder. Wow. It'll literally like be playing in my head for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. I will be sitting at work with this song going in my head.
Yeah.
And so it's like if I don't like I kind of almost do it to kind of like guard my brain because of like the way my brain works. But then like my wife, completely different. She loves Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Loves Anita Baker.
Uh-huh.
Like she can listen to, some days I'll come in, and she hadn't done this in a while, but sometimes I'll come in and Anita Baker's playing like loud kind of stuff. And but she's the type of person, she can listen to music and like she can just move on.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person, I don't move on.
Yeah.
So it's just like
be at the cubicle.
3 weeks later on the same song. Like, and so like it's one of those things where it's just like you know what you can handle and like what negatively like tugs at you.
And you just go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and it's just like you know like what songs, like if I listen to this song, it's gonna put me in this mood and I'm gonna be like this for the day. That sort of thing. Like you know yourself.
Right. And this is something I previously said in another podcast. But which you brought this to my attention when you said it. Like, there's they say life and death is in the power of the tongue. Well, your consciousness, it speaks. It could be speaking life or death. Even though, we wouldn't have this. I know neither one of us would have this problem. But someone that may be listening to things that are speaking messages to you, and they play and they speak these things over you, and you're conscious because have you ever seen the of course you're going for your for your masters in social work, so I know you know this. The Sigmund Freud, like the iceberg, how it is your consciousness is just the tip, and then your subconscious is like 90% or whatever. I forget what I haven't studied that in a long time, but
it's
like
massive,
90% is subconscious. So if you putting this stuff in your head and your subconscious is 90% of what's of your consciousness, then it's speaking a lot of things over your life that depending on what you put in may be speaking bad and maybe speaking death and maybe speaking whatever over you. So that's one thing you really gotta watch.
Because it's crazy. Because it's just like music, the way music works, it can get in you without you even realizing that it got in you. Because like I used to work at this popular convenience store, and basically it was like they had the you know how they do with the music on, and it sounds like a radio, but it doesn't feel like a radio because literally every day they play the same exact songs in the same order,
playlist,
almost at the same time. And so it's just like you don't like. I didn't even like most of the songs, but like all of a sudden it's just like I could be like driving home or something like that, and all of a sudden, like random stuff, and it's just like I don't even like this song. Why is this happening? Like it's crazy how easily it just like whoa right there.
And so it's that's one of the things, and like with me, I listen to Christian music 98% of the time. Like when if I get a little, like if I may think of a like that little riff on "Living for the City." That's like a really musical thing. So I was like, oh man, I need to hear that. So I'll put that song on and I'll listen to it or whatever. Or I may put on like a like the old music soundtracks or whatever. Like I listen to a lot of older stuff. I don't really listen to anything new when it comes to like secular music. I don't. But yeah, probably about 98% of what I listen to is Christian music. And if I hear like if I'm working and I get like this tune in my head, or I may, that one that pops in my head is that Frankie Beverly and Mays, bum, 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 the barbecue song. You make me happy.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. Like I'll put that on like if I'm cleaning the house or something like that. But
it's such clean. That's good cleaning music too.
Yeah, it's clean.
That's good
I'll
cleaning
wash the
music.
car on a Saturday. On a Saturday, the uncle I washing the car on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Got that on, like barbecue, like that kind of nostalgia, and like that's mostly what I for nostalgia's sake, But yeah, gotta be really careful with the substance of what you and my recommendations is like don't like I would not. Just because I went down that road with in high school and stuff with the neo soul. Well, this was a little after high school with like the neo soul thing, and I begin to see my mindset change because it's hard to get into music without getting into the culture and getting into the world that it's happening in, especially for worship leaders and people that love music.
Yeah,
like I couldn't get into that scene and just listen to that and. For me, I don't think, like you said, I don't think I could be okay if in heavy doses and listening to a bunch of it because I know my mindset would eventually begin to change. So I don't. As far as me, I think as far as secular music goes, when it comes to if you're lining it up with the Word of God, if it's completely like speaking death, not actual death, but there's many ways. Some of it is some of it is actual death. Like, and death can be in many ways, not just physical death. If it's speaking, things. There's all kinds of stuff.
If it's speaking death.
Yeah, if it's
speaking death.
If it's speaking death. I don't want to start saying lyrics and people and all that stuff. But. Yeah, line it up with the Word of God, and if it's speaking death in any way, I don't think it's a good idea to listen to. And yeah, that's those are my views on the whole secular music. And you said you don't listen to it at all because
I know
how
myself.
It gets. I know
myself.
Yeah,
because before you know it, all of a sudden you singing it or something like that, and it's just like, where did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah,
I know me. I know me.
Oh yeah, that's something that like Justin Bieber made a album.
Yes,
I saw
that
was Christian. Christian.
Is it a positive
Christian?
Yeah.
So this opens up a whole new basket. So you have like secular artists that make music that's Christian. Like, and my thoughts on this is, I think I consider it positive and about God, but I don't know if I consider it Christian. Just because, and a lot of people bash him for it. I'm on a kick where I try not to bash people. If I'm gonna err, I want to err on the side of grace, then on this because I think Jesus gives grace and he gives it a whole lot. So if I'm gonna err on somebody, I try to err on grace than the latter. And so a lot of people kind of hard on him and saying, you make this kind of music, so let's not make this kind of music. This is a point I would like to bring up. If you were in a homeless shelter, got arrested, ran on hard times, and you went to this church, and you found God, and you got a job as a cashier or whatever, or I guess the job's not important. What we would tell this person is start where you are. However you can tell somebody about Jesus Christ, do it the best you can. God's gonna honor it, whatever. we would tell. I would tell. That would be my advice.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody was telling me, it was like, I don't know a whole lot about this. What do I do? I'd be like, tell them your testimony. Tell them what happened. God changed you. You can't really go wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Justin Bieber in this album is doing the same thing as I would tell that person. So I try not to be hard on him because I wouldn't be hard on the guy that doesn't have a big audience. I tell him, do it the way you do it. Tell people your testimony. And I feel like in this album, that's what he did. He just told his personal testimony, where he is with God. He prayed for people. You know, he did positive things. Now, is this going to be something that I'm going to listen to and worship and all of that? No. I mean, it's just not that kind of music.
Yeah.
But
it was more like a, what's the word? Not kind of like almost like a journal type thing where it's just like it's like expressive. Like this is where I'm at with God. Like this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And I like some of the music on it. I guess he's a new. Well, no, he's not new. He's not new either. He just started so young. We just old.
He's not new either. I think he's very relevant.
Yeah,
but he's not new. And you know, I just feel like that it's kind of, it is what it is. What my thinking is just kind of, it is what it is.
I think it's one of those things like whenever it's really easy to just be all like, oh well, you're a secular artist, but you're like dipping in the Christian community or something like that, and it's really easy to like judge somebody and just be like, oh, you're just doing this for whatever and you're being paid. But you also have to remember, like, the people that are doing this, a lot of time, like they are like deep off in it already. Like they were already deep off in the secular community, so even them just openly doing a volume of not even just a single but like an entire like volume or EP of songs, even leaning in a Christian persuasion is a huge change, because of the fact like they are deep off in the secular world like this. And that's not, I mean, it's hard making that complete shift, and it's even harder expecting somebody to, as they're trying to figure out even what they're doing with God at the moment, to just be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be completely Christian music now. Like, would you expect that out of somebody that came to your church on like a random Sunday? Like, no. Like, some people can just boom, there it is, just like that. And other people need a process. Other people, they're just like, you know what, I kind of need to do both for right now. Some people, some people need different things, and I'm not saying that we just condone everything. And
right, exactly,
like that. But I'm just like, if he's doing a Christian album, let's celebrate that a little bit. Be like, yes, that is awesome. That's thank you for doing that, sir. Like,
and the thing is, like, I scrolled when I just scrolled through the comments just to see what people were saying, and he was reaching people that are, he was planting seeds to people that they would say, I wouldn't listen, I'm not a Christian, I'm a Muslim, or I'm this or that. They're saying, but this is really cool. Like, this is, I'm glad to see something positive or hear something positive. So that's a little seed planted, and it's over a global, on a global scale. So I think God can take that, and God can use it for His kingdom. Even if the vessel isn't, I mean, none of us are like, we're all fall short, and we all whatever, but there's like, there's different levels to it though. Even if the vessel isn't what you would, I don't
like
know.
church motherish. Like this, it's like it, like they didn't grow up in church or something like that. Even they did, but then they went off and did something else, and now they're coming back. Like, it's
even if the vessel is in the world at the time, I guess that's what even if the vessel is in the world at the time, I think God can take an honest, if the vessel in the world was like, okay, God, I really want to make this and make it for you, and it's with an honest heart, I think God can take that and He can plant seeds with it. Now, I don't see people at the altar praying through to Justin Bieber. I mean, God can do that.
Yeah.
But I think God can plant seeds with that, and I think God can use it for a win in His kingdom. So, Justin, if you're seeing this, good job, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on over. We'd like to have you in the Christian community.
We really would.
I think the battery, so we won't have to watch for that. I may just.
I wonder what that was.
This podcast, we just real with it. So yeah, the battery. So we're gonna have to watch for it, and if it cuts off, this podcast went so long till the battery's going out.
This
on the camera,
is the longest one we've done.
It's been really long, and we still have another segment. You want to move on to the other segment? Or
Sure.
You good? Okay. So that was the secular. I like to wrap it up. So secular, I'm to the point to like, my opinion is watch it. Nothing with that's speaking negatively and death into your life. And my personal thing is I limit it because I know myself, and so I limit it sparsely here and there, you know. So that's me. So it brings me to my next the next segment. Expressive worship. How much is too much?
That is a
You want to take this one
hard
first?
That is a hard one because, like, it's not even, it goes beyond, like, it's not even just, like, the surface level of just, like, what you're doing on the outside. It also has so much to do with, like, what's your motive behind your expressive worship, because some people, like, they're expressive and that is so awesome, but like it's for that purpose of just like, I just want to be seen, and my church does a live, or like I go to a big church, so it's just like I want to be, you know, like I want to be seen or something like that. And it's just like, if you're doing expressive worship like that, you might as well just stand there because you're doing it for the wrong reason to begin with. But on the other hand, I'm also like, I'm one of those people, like I like expressive worship. I like seeing people do the, you know, the expressive. I'm not saying like you got to do cartwheels and be hanging from the ceiling or anything like that. Like, but like I like to see that whole, like, you having that, you know, personal moment with God where you're, you know, where you're reaching and you're trying, and like you can, it's obvious you're having like a genuine, you know, worship experience. And I don't mean that to be like, oh, well, it has to look like this, or this, you know, that sort of thing, because like everybody's different. So the way that you express to God is different. For some people, literally just doing this is extremely expressive because they, as a person, do not do anything near that direction. So them just doing something like this, or even just doing like this, that's a massive form of expression for them. So it's just, I think it's just like a case by case.
Yeah, that's exactly that's pretty much how I feel about it. Like, I don't think expressive worship, I don't think it's too much. How much is too much? I don't think that's an objective question. I think it's subjective. I don't think God's up there like, oh, he rolled too much.
Reel it back.
He ran 3 miles an hour too much. You know, I don't think it's objective at all. I think it's subjective. Like it to the person, and I think also to the culture and the place that you're at. Like, I would not like I think, like, when we go back to Corinthians and Paul talking about being appropriate and being in order, and like what's appropriate in Corinth may be different in Galatia, you know, or what's appropriate in Compton, LA may be different than what's appropriate in New York or
that's true.
or you know, Malibu, you know. So I think when it comes to being expressive, like I wouldn't go to a Catholic mass and do a Kojic or apostolic shout. Like, not that a Kojic or an apostolic shout is wrong, and not that you know that the amount of praise in a Catholic mass, not that that's wrong. It's just like, if I went into a Catholic service and they you know, they got on the organ and they played something that was past 60 beats per minute, I get to dun, 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 dun. That is a distraction. Like nobody's gonna get anything out of that service. They're gonna be looking.
They will get a story though.
They'll get a story. They'll get a
story.
story, and so I think it's a question of being subjective, like kind of like because there's been conferences where like there's just some people just worship different ways. Like like I wasn't at this conference, but some people that went to a conference, they said they had people that were worshiping and they were like doing like butterfly movements and like tree and all, but that to them that was how they worship God. And I don't think God sees that as any way like weird or any way like he looks, like you said, he looks upon the heart, like and if this is a creation that our expressive worship that in somebody's heart is their purest form of worship, I think it's okay. And then you got some people that'll, well, I don't. That's not worship. Never mind. I'm not even going. I'm just going to steer away from it. And you got here's the thing. So you have people, and people have, here's another factor. People have different personalities. Like you have, let's just say you take out of church and you go to a soccer game, because soccer is all around the world, is big, it's huge. Like it's, so you pack these soccer stadiums and you have people with personalities that their team will score and they'll get up and they'll clap their hands and they'll go, that's great. You have people that go, woo, and they'll be excited. You have people that will take off their shirt and paint their body and whatever. And you have people that'll take off all their clothes and run across the field. Like you have all of these different personalities.
All in one place.
And you take them to a church and they get saved, and then that personality doesn't change. So if you take the same person that was willing to take off their clothes and run across the field, and you teach them what, that
do not do that at your
church.
church.
They're not going to do that. Yeah, don't
do not do
don't
that.
get excited and do that in your church.
You will be having to sit down if you do that.
Like, don't do that in your church. You take that personality, somebody that's that open, and you put them in the church. It's nothing for them to roll on the floor. Like to roll on the floor.
That is mild.
And to do a cartwheel and to do a backflip.
They are doing mild things at that point.
When the spirit hits, sky's the limit for them. They may toe the line a little bit, not taking off their clothes, but as far as what's appropriate in church, they're gonna toe the line. Like they're gonna, and
because they toed the line before.
Yeah,
so
they toed the
like
line before, and it may really be like from their heart. It may truly be from their heart. Now that person will have to take in consideration like what's okay in this environment. You know, like so there's a lot of different factors on expressive worship, like what's too much and what's not enough, because there's humans. You got like you were saying, you're a blue person. I'm a green person. There's like an orange person. They may get up, take off, because that orange person's real energetic, real, hey, how you doing? So they may take off running and whatever. And like me, I'm green. I'm more analytical. So I'm way less likely to do that.
Yeah.
Not that I see it in any way. I just, my personality, I'm way less likely to do something like that. Then you have people that, like, people are different. And I think we don't always realize that in environments. Like you take people that all different walks of life, all different kind of whatever, and you put them in because sometimes it's electric. Like you feel the power of God, and then you have like on top of the power of God, when you get people together and their energy and all of that stuff, that adds even more. Like because of the times, like you add the energy from the people, and then you put the presence of God on top of it. It's like explosive. Like you could really like somebody could really like do something crazy just because like you get God and you get.
I will say like there was one youth service. It was like during camp meeting, and we had like the youth fourth fest at the church, and I don't normally do this because Yeah, but I took a lap. I don't remember the last time I did that. Like I don't normally do that, but I took a lap and I was just like, huh.
So
like,
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
And it was just like, I mean, stuff like that happens.
Yeah,
like all of a sudden, it's just you don't know what's gonna happen at church service.
It does, and which this brings me to another thought I was having. Like, I normally don't get on YouTube like and comment and like engage in comments, but they had this guy who was it was a church in an urban area. And this guy was like, he had people grabbing by the head, like doing all this. And there were people like, oh, he's a heretic, he's a false prophet, and the fruit of the spirit and all of this stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, you can't take this one clip and say that about this guy and say that about this pastor. I mean, you don't, the guys, these were like obviously gang members. Like they braided up, had on the plaid shirts, like Compton.
Like, it's like, y'all don't know what happened leading up
like,
to that.
I was like, if they're not saying anything, then it's okay. Because if you put your hands on them, on those guys,
they're gonna let you know.
They are gonna let you know. But he was whatever.
And also, you don't know how long that guy's probably been trying to like work with them, and it was just like, no, you getting it today.
Yeah, it's like take it in the context. And I was in there like commenting back and forth. This one lady, she like attacked me. I'm like, well. I can't. She brought out the fruit of the spirit. I was like, well, don't just take it in the context of one action. He was talking about the fruit of the spirit over somebody's life, not over because they got excited and they might have jerked somebody too hard. Like, that's not gentleness is the fruit. Well, okay, gentleness in your life, not gentleness in an isolated situation. So I was back and forth without scripture. I was like keyboard warrior. I'm telling you, we were in a debate. Like I brought out talking to Galatians and brought out the context, and she just stopped because I kind of crushed her. I kind of crushed her on it a little bit. It felt good. Sorry to say that, but it felt good. It felt good because she taking scriptures way out of context, talking about an isolated situation for the fruit of the spirit. That's not what it was. He was talking about the fruit of the spirit replacing the law. Against such there is no law. He was telling them, the people that were still trying to obey the law, he was telling them, no, that's not the way. The fruit of the spirit, against such there's not any law. You don't have to worry about the law anymore. Just have the fruit of the spirit. And she took all of that and translated into, he jerked this man around, so he's not gentle. Like that, don't do that. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm getting to that little rant. Like I was saying, like it just, like, don't take it out of context. There's so many factors. You can't just judge somebody off of one action, because you may get really excited and you may and something may hit you. Like you said, you took that lap. Like somebody could have said, "Look at Josh taking a lap," or whatever. You know, like you can't judge one off of one incident.
And also, you don't know what they went through that week.
Right.
They could have went through it that week.
Exactly. They
so there's a reason why they're rolling on the floor this Sunday. Like,
and who's to say, like, is like God says, oh, excuse me, those cokes.
I know. I felt it.
Like he says, he takes the foolish things to confound the wise. So who was to say that God wasn't like, okay, praise me like you never have before. Like his spirit spoke to that person and say, praise me like you never have before, to get your blessing or get your breakthrough. And, they may have just been obeying the voice of God for that moment.
Or they could have got healed from cancer.
Or they could exactly. Or they could have got healed from cancer, and that's something to get really excited about and to praise, like, really, like, yeah. So it's just, it's all about context. And with all of that, I think my daughter's over here making faces, trying to get us off track. Yeah, and so you take all of that in the context, like there's expressive worship. I mean, it just, I don't, like you said in the beginning, there's so many factors, it's case by case, like, but I do think you should, even if you're feeling it, I feel like if you don't have an absolute word from God, you should not be a distraction. Like, if God tells you to do something to be a distraction and you sure it's God,
Go for
deal
it.
with that later. Go for it. You can deal with that distraction stuff later.
It'll work itself
it'll
out.
work.
Honestly.
Yeah, it'll work
If it's
itself
from
out.
God, it'll work itself out.
If it's from God, it'll work itself out. But if it's just, you know, if it's just you saying, you know, I'm gonna praise God, I'm gonna do a crazy praise. Well, sometimes you gotta go out there and sometimes you just gotta you know, try God to see, you know. But in those instances, you know, outside of those instances, I think we should take into consideration, will this be something that's gonna disrupt the service? Like if you're gonna disrupt the service and there's like going, usher's gonna have to take you out and all that kind of stuff, then you know think twice about it. I would think you think twice about it. But yeah, like expressive worship. Oh, speaking of this Sunday, there was almost some expressive worship that wasn't God centered. They were doing announcements, and I saw this spider, like the way like it was coming down, and it was in my place for after announcement. It was like right, and when we went into the song, it was like kind of hanging like right over my head. There was a spider, and we were singing like
stress.
We went into thank you Jesus for the blood applied. So it was a powerful song, and the whole time I'm like moving around because there's a spider hanging over my head. I'm like, Jesus, woo! And
if it's dropping in my mouth, I'm ruining the song. Like this, this song is gone.
It's gone. But eventually, I guess something the wind of the spirit, like something took it and it blew away. So I was like, whoo, I can sing now because
he's so faithful.
Because like until that happened, like my mind was on that spider. Like I was like, ooh, Lord, please don't let this thing drop on me.
What'd you say? If this spider drop on me, I'm done. I'm done.
Slow
It's
song,
done.
I'm gonna be running and shouting all over the stage. You're like, ooh, Terry feeling
like,
it.
he got his blessing this morning.
Got his blessing. No, that was a Black Widow. That was no blessing. That was brown recluse. Got one of them brown recluse blessings.
Oh my gosh,
man.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm glad that didn't. Man, whew.
Oh my gosh.
I think that might be about it, huh?
Yeah.
You got anything?
I mean, I guess just use wisdom, go with God, and
expressive worship. There's how much is too much between you and God, you know, and all the factors at hand, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things, case by case.
Yeah, case
by case.
Case by case, yeah. Like a little case study. We got John, I'll use that as John Doe. He was in the front, like reading it like a case study. He was in the front shouting all over the place.
During the preaching.
You need during the during the preaching, during the teaching.
There it is.
wasn't even preaching. That's just sitting down there with Bible study. It was slow as it could get.
In a home group.
In a home group. He didn't get blessed. Did he? No breakthroughs.
Yeah, but
no.
It just happened.
That was on live, and he wanted to get his shout on the live. So we don't want to do that. Lou,
I think we have
man?
a visitor.
We
y'all.
got a visitor. My son's back there. We're about to get out of here.
We
Anyway.
got two visitors.
It has been a very long podcast, the longest one. We had fun though. This has been a good one. We just
I don't think either one of us expected this.
No, we didn't expect this. So, Lou, let us finish this real quick. All right.
Just one moment.
One moment. Oh, you can come on. Come on. Come on. You can come on.
He was itching for
Just
it.
watch the
He
camera.
was itching for it.
Oh,
whoa, the light. That's Viv, y'all.
Oh, Viv.
And this is Louie.
That's Viv. My daughter has
I
hair
think we've
just
officially
popped in
had
front.
all of the kids on the podcast.
All the kids are now on the podcast. So, I'm lost now. I'm lost.
Well,
We'll wrap it up. Oh yeah, this has been another episode. We ask that you, if you like it, hit the like button, share it with somebody.
Subscribe
for sure.
If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I nearly say Apple Music, Apple Podcast. There we go.
All of the stuff, all of the things. We're there. The Worship Leader Podcast. You can find us. Hey Viv, maybe stay on this side of the camera for me. Thank you, ma'am.
She nearly hit it. It was this close.
It's the Worship Leader Podcast on all platforms.
Don't bump your head.
Come on.
All of them. So if you have any comments, feel free to leave that on the YouTube channel or on Facebook.
And we're I'll go ahead.
Oh yeah, no.
And we're gonna get out of here. It's been a good episode. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.